Poor energy quality work. Quality in this term is based on the quality of energy that one has. When someone is doing poor quality work, they are working for themselves and not repaying society for the education it has given them. Facing difficulties as an intellectual. Q. My question is, if I am in a difficult situation and I don't know what my problem is, how can I figure it out? I will try to be brief. I live in a 2-story house, and I have upstairs neighbors. Their family has grown a lot, and there is a young baby who has been making so much noise that it has been affecting my sleep. After having many discussions with them, I end up sleeping in my car. I am trying to figure out what to do. Since I have a home office, it is hard for me to just move out, but I am looking into that option. Through learning Jungbub's philosophy, I realized that even though situations don't change, much of the problem with it has diminished. So again, my question is, if I am in a difficult situation, how do I know what to do and when it is time to get away from these situations? Oh, in our society, there are people who live in an apartment and who can't avoid the noise from their neighbors. Why is that? This is because you might be someone working low energy quality jobs. That has led to your current situation, so you have no choice but to live with loud, noisy neighbors. If you want to live in a quiet environment without trying to do something about it, you might as well give in and sleep in your car. However, if you want to get out of this situation, you must embrace this current environment and do your best to do something meaningful for society. How do we decide where we should live? If you do things that are poor in energy quality, you would be living in a poorer quality space. Even though you do poor energy quality work, if you want to live in a comfortable place instead, that becomes greed. What you do now for a living reflects where you could be living. What you can do is based on the kind of people you meet, and what you face determines the kind of situation you get into. Therefore, you need to embrace your situation. For how long? If you start at 0, you must make an effort for 3 years exactly. How do you make this effort for 3 years? Never complain about your current situation. The meaning of effort is not something you have to do better. It is to not complain about your situation for 3 years. Then you may have the chance to move to a better position. God, Grand Nature, will lead the way. Don't complain. Know that this situation you are in was led by you, not by others. Whoever complains, that person will fall back 1 step. If they complain again, they might receive more challenges. You have to be aware of this. This is the word of God. No matter what situation is thrown at you, if you don't complain and make an effort to fulfill ourselves and endure for 3 years, just as the fog clears, the rain stops and the sun appears, your life will change. This is because human beings must live by striving to make an effort to change their lives. Whoever does not exert themselves will never have good fortune in the future. Why? The previous era, before 2013, and the post-era from 2013 operate differently. The previous era was when we were not fully grown. Thus, we lived a poorer quality of life, which may have led us to ask for a better life. There was a time when we were developing in order to make this society. At that time, we had to work hard because we were living more poorly and had to prepare ourselves. Since the post-era began, we were gradually able to live the right way, making a new order. The whole world has been becoming clearer in this age. If you don't make an effort, you will not get yourself out of a difficult situation. Anyone who makes an effort will receive pleasure, joy, and happiness in their life. This is the future society. The way we have lived and the way of life in the future will be different. Now human beings have to operate in this land, and God, Grand Nature, doesn't operate it. Until when will God keep supporting us? It is until we all gain the power to fulfill ourselves, which means that all the knowledge has been cultivated. People who live in a knowledgeable society are supposed to live like intellectuals. An intellectual's behavior must differ from others. Intellectuals do not live for themselves but for others. They are public figures. However, if you live for yourself, you will face difficulties. If you, as an intellectual, don't know how to live as a public figure, I will teach you. Anyone who lives as a public figure can be rid of their difficulties. However, there is one thing intellectuals must keep in mind and never forget. In order to become an intellectual, tremendous sacrifices are made from people. With the people's sacrifices, you get knowledge and become an intellectual. If intellectuals who have grown by the sacrifices of people only live for themselves, how can the people who have sacrificed live in the future? Intellectuals grew from the blood, sweat, and sacrifices of the people. Now it is time to consider how to repay them. Even though you can't do anything at present, you have to know who you are. If you grew up with the help of others, you should now start to think about how you can live for others so that you don't get ridiculed by God. Grand nature. God operates the whole world without faults. A new era is going to start. If you know the right path, then we won't have a difficult life. Summary and analysis. Concept of poor energy quality work. 1. Poor energy quality work refers to jobs that lack meaningful contribution to society. 1. Individuals engaged in such work are perceived as not repaying society for the education and resources they have received. 1. This concept implies a correlation between the quality of one's work and the quality of their living conditions. Difficult situations as intellectuals. 1. Intellectuals may face challenges that stem from their environment and lifestyle choices. 1. The example provided involves dealing with noisy neighbors, affecting one's ability to work and rest. 2. The suggested approach is to recognize that one's current situation is a result of their past actions and the quality of work they have done. 2. Therefore, improvement comes from accepting the situation and striving to do better work that benefits society. Determining actions in difficult situations. Acceptance and effort. 1. Embrace the current situation without complaint for 3 years. 2. Understand that the situation is self-created and that complaints will only exacerbate the challenges. Contribution to society. 1. Focus on making meaningful contributions to society rather than seeking immediate personal comfort. 2. Recognize that improving one's situation requires a commitment to societal benefit over personal gain. Intellectual responsibility. 1. Intellectuals should live for the benefit of others as they have gained their knowledge through the sacrifices of many. 2. Living selfishly as an intellectual leads to difficulties, whereas living as a public figure alleviates them. Transformation through effort. 1. A clear delineation between the pre-2013 era and the post-2013 era highlights a shift towards a society where individuals are expected to strive for personal and societal betterment. 2. Persistent effort and non-complaint for 3 years are key to overcoming difficult situations and achieving a better quality of life. Role of intellectuals in society. 1. Intellectuals are viewed as public figures with a responsibility to repay society. 2. Tremendous sacrifices from others have enabled intellectuals to gain their status, hence they must live to benefit others, ensuring a better future for all. New era of clarity. 1. The post-2013 era is characterized by clarity and a new order where individuals must operate with self-fulfillment and societal contribution in mind. 2. God or grand nature will support individuals until they gain the power to fulfill themselves through knowledge and effort. Key takeaways. 1. Embrace and accept the current situation without complaint. 2. Make sustained efforts for 3 years to improve one's circumstances. 3. Focus on contributing to society rather than personal comfort. 4. Intellectuals have a responsibility to live for the benefit of others. 5. Persistent effort leads to joy and happiness in the new era of clarity.